What's up, guys and gals? It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys the next piece of One Piece, chapter 1014. People are going to have some questions. I have some questions. I got some serious questions here because, number one, everybody's going to be talking about the first moment in the chapter. People are going to be talking about this first moment. Of course, Luffy falling off, Onigashima, comatose, and we actually see him. Nobody saves him. Now, I said that there was a possibility, but I went, some people are saying the submarine is going to be the thing and stuff. That's still a possibility, but there's no Marco, there's no Momonosuke, there's none of that. Luffy, and they're not over Wano yet. Luffy flat out hits the drink. He's in the water, he's in the ocean. Now, he could easily wash up to shore potentially, but like Big Mom and everybody did, but I don't know. I really don't know what direction Oda is going to go here. Like, Kaido even laments this and said, like, he's disappointed, as we all know this. Every viewer is going to say this, and every fan knows this, that Kaido is looking for that next big fight, that next big opponent that can actually maybe make him go all out, make him bleed, make him lose. He was super impressed with Oden. He was really impressed with Zoro, and he has been impressed with Luffy so far, but Luffy ended up short with him because he said, so you managed to figure out how to coat, your blows with Conqueror's Haki. Great. But your technique led a lot to be desired. You discovered a new technique and you went in flailing. Now, there are two weird things that he says. He questions something, saying, what was it again? Goma Goma no? Goma Goma no what? Is he thinking about, was there an attack that we didn't see off screen? Was there an ability? Was there the red rock? Is he thinking about? Was there something else? Like, why is he? What was it again? Or is he referring to his devil fruit? Going, what was that devil fruit again? Goma Goma no. Like, a lot of people are probably going to be questioning this because I don't understand what this means either. Maybe I'll have to check a different translation because I'm not fully getting what Kaido is referencing here. What he is implying even. But then the big thing comes up where we see Luffy hit the water and Kaido says, seems like you couldn't be Joy Boy either. Whoa, okay, what the hell does that mean? Like, this is going into that fan fiction comic with the water no mi and who Eam is and dragon attacking Reverie and all that stuff, that crazy, really well done fan fiction comic. This is going into that. You couldn't be Joy Boy either. Well, a lot of people are going to focus on he couldn't be Joy Boy. What does that mean? That's like some Oden stuff. Like, does that mean that Joy Boy is supposed to appear? Does that mean Joy Boy is supposed to be around? My question is, Kaido is referencing this as you couldn't be Joy Boy either. As in, he assumed somebody else in the past was. Or he thinks it was Oden, or Momonosuke, or Shanks, or Roger, or any of the other people that he fought and respected. He has been looking for this Joy Boy for some reason. Maybe he knows more than he's ever let on, and Joy Boy is supposed to be the savior of the world, the strongest thing, and that's who Kaido has been searching for. He's searching for Joy Boy because he thinks Joy Boy can give him the ultimate fight. So there's a lot here with this one. I'm drawing a blank. As I said, I'm focusing on the either part. The either part, or either, you couldn't be Joy Boy either. As in, he assumed that other people in the past were Joy Boy and they turned out not to be. Like, Kaido is searching for him. That's my theory right now. Like, Kaido is looking for Joy Boy, expecting Joy Boy, wanting to fight Joy Boy. Why? How does he know about him? All that stuff. Who knows? But at the end of the day, maybe Kaido did read Oden's journal. Maybe. That's entirely possible. So either way, the rest of the chapter sort of goes on, and I'm going to, going briefly through this, because really the beginning part is the important part, and then the ending part is the important part. It's basically a big announcement thing that they found Momonosuke. Kaido is now solo on the roof, and he's just like, okay, I want everybody to know. I want a big announcement that I have defeated Straw Hat Luffy. I'm going to give you guys one last chance. Put down your arms, join my crew, and surrender right now. You will be forgiven. You will join my crew, and then we will take over everything. So he, like, and it's a really good thing. Like, we jump between a few other people. We jump between, like, Yamato going crazy, trying to get to the roof in time. We get Momonosuke reading through a lot of Oden's journal and looking at it and saying, I can't afford to die. Now, Shinobu takes this out of context, but he's reading his journal and says, it seems like I cannot afford to die. And it's like, well, of course you can. He goes, no. There's something in Oden's journal. Like, I don't think Oden's journal said exactly what the One Piece was necessarily, but even if it did, like, I know a lot of people would complain about that, but I think it gives a lot of the lore. I think it reads a lot of what Robin is searching for. Not necessarily about the One Piece and what's on the last island, but more about the history and who is Joy Boy. What does the Poneglyphs mean? What does the Void Century mean? Those things are probably where the Kazuki clan, once again, they're the ones, the Poneglyphs, it's all their thing. There's probably information in that journal that is hugely important for the rest of the story, and Momonosuke is reading that stuff. But then he starts to remember when Zunisha started to talk to him and stuff. He started getting the headache. He's like, what is this? And who are you and stuff. So somebody else is talking now. Somebody else is talking to him. Is it the Sea Kings or something? I can't think of anything else that's around right now, unless Zanisha walked up to Wano. I don't know how that would happen. But, and he wouldn't say, who are you? So he's hearing someone screaming into his mind, hearing the voice of all things, but he's hearing it and he doesn't know who it is. So this is going to be huge build-up hype. The Wano arc is being built up for hype, and it hasn't disappointed. Some people don't like this arc. I think it's fantastic. I think when we get the conclusion of this arc, when the arc is fully explained and we get everything, it's all going to make sense. And the same people saying, this is a 7 out of 10 arc, this was a dragged on arc, this is a little bit of a boring arc, it's not the greatest arc, those people are going to eat their words and they're going to say, okay, yeah, Wano had some flaws, but my God, this arc, you know? There's going to be that group of people. Just remember that, guys, because I think this is setting up for some fantastic reveals. Chopper is now having to fight Perospero and Queen. Chopper kicking ass by the looks of this, but of course can't stay in the monster point for as long as he wants. And Perospero is shooting him with arrows constantly. This is where Chopper and Caesar sort of came up with the Rumble Ball extension, it seems, because while Caesar was on the ship, Chopper brings up about Monster Point and saying, like, of course Caesar would be interested in gigantification because that's the whole thing that got him in this mess. That's the whole thing that got him in trouble. So he's talking about it and saying, well, you reach Monster Point. How do you do that? Like, that's basically giantification. And he says, well, like, it only lasts for 3 minutes. And he says, and he looks at the formula for the Rumble Ball and says, you should let me design the Rumble Ball instead. You gather this, this, and this. I can increase that time limit easy to half an hour. But, you know, there'll be risks involved, but you're not that scared of discovery, are you? So that's kind of cool because we didn't need to see that scene before, and seeing it now makes a lot of sense, and we can totally see it happening. So potentially Chopper knows how to keep Monster Point going, and he seems to be winning to some degree, or at least holding them back in the same way that Marco has been holding his own against King and Queen. And now Queen is distracted with Chopper. Perospero is also distracted fighting against Chopper. And we have Marco dealing with King. So there's a combination of things going on here. That's when, of course, Kaido transforms back into his dragon form. He leaves the rooftop and he goes for cleanup. They have this whole message. We see Luffy drowning in the sea. So definitely confirmed. He did hit the water. He is in the ocean right now. And he is still comatose. So I don't think a lot of people were expecting that. I thought people thought that somebody would save him at the last minute or something like that. Or he'd wake up at the last minute and do Gum Gum Air Balloon or something like that. But It didn't happen. So very shocking for a lot of people. I know that, considering all the predictions that I was reading about this chapter. Then we get, as I said, the big announcement. Straw Hats, Luffy has been defeated. The Kazuki Samurai and your captain have failed. Who wants to be next? You know what? We will graciously accept your surrender. You raise your hands. You swear fealty to me. You can join my crew. Yada, yada, yada. We do see a lot of the shots of all the other people. We see Queen still fighting against Chopper and Perospero. We see Frankie. We see Marco. We see Jinbei. And Who's Who is back in his regular form. He's not in his cat form fighting against Jinbei. Jinbei doesn't look any worse for wear. So that's good. We see a shot of Law. We see Big Mom versus Kid. We see Usopp. We see Nami. We see basically everybody, right? We see Hyogoro. We see Robin and Brooke. And then, of course, we see Sanji and Zoro saying, screw that together. Like, they still believe in Luffy. They're not buying this, even though it is technically right now true. I think that Zoro and Sanji are probably thinking, no, he's lying right now. You know, he's just trying to get us to switch. And not that they would ever go for it anyways, but they don't believe it. Probably. They probably just don't believe it. This is where the end part of the chapter comes in. Momonosuke he's Kinemon and Kiku met up with him and all that stuff, and he's trying to somebody is screaming in his head. Now, I don't know who this is, but it's going to be shocking. There's going to be a lot of predictions, but either way, it's happening again just like it did on Zou. Now, here's where Kanjuro does the same trick again. Transforms, this time it's actually Kanjuro though, transforms into Odin using his devil fruit. Now, doing this and knowing Kinemon and Kiku, they know. Now, of course, Momonosuke and Shinobu don't realize, they can't believe it. He's a fraud, they say that. Odin continues to mock himself. Kiku goes forward. After what you did, you stop calling me that while wearing his face, Kanjuro. I am going to cut you down. This is like, I know it's not you, you fraud, you fiend. I'm going to kill you for what you've done. This, we can confer from this that Ashura Doji is most likely dead. And I think we're seeing a few more character deaths here, guys. We're definitely seeing at least two, I would argue, because Odin or Kanjuro here continues to bait Kiku into attacking him, saying, I took you and Izo in, I did this, I did that, and Kiku hesitates. At the end of the day, Kiku hesitates. Now, a lot of people are going to be upset by this. And upon initial reaction, I am too. Because at the end of the day, Ashura Doji did what they were too weak to do. Ashura Doji is dead because the rest of them hesitated. And literally, not minutes later, she's going to hesitate one more time. When people say that this is on her, or him, I don't know what to, at that point. But it is. It is. Because she, at this point, the first time, I could see it. They're desperate. There's no hope. And the one who could never lose, the one who was born to boil, comes back. The split second, the hesitation, the reluctance, I get it all. But they know it's not Odin. She knows it's not Odin. He knows. Well, I don't know anymore what to call Kiku, pronoun-wise. But yeah, and then she gets run through. Kiku gets run through by Kanjuro, saying, you gave me a fatal wound, it's only right that I return the favor. So now Kiku not only lost an arm, is most likely dead, got stabbed in the gut. I think this is Kiku's death. Kiku cries, saying, I couldn't bring myself to cut him, I'm sorry. It's like, the first time I understand, but not the second time. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, right? So, I don't see it. I really don't. I think this could have been handled better. I think this just shows weakness. Honestly, the first time I got it, and in my review, guys, you all saw that. I hope you did, where I explained that even if it didn't make sense. We still, as a fan, I wanted it to be true, just like the Red Scabbards. Denying logic because you love Odin. I get that. We see that in Disney films, in Pixar films, in fiction all the time. Deny the reality because you just want to see, you want to see your loved one again. You want to see your father again. You want to see your mother again. It's something that's been throughout many different fictions and many different stories. And your denial of logic and hesitation, if all of a sudden my dead uncle knocked on the door and I opened the door and it was him, logic would go out the window for at least a moment, right? And I would hesitate. I'd be like, it doesn't make sense that you're here. Is it really you? You'd be overjoyed. You wouldn't know how to feel, the shock of it all. But I think that Kiku did not really get over it yet. Should have, didn't. And I think this suits far better to happen the first time. And the way this was handled, stabbed in the back would have made more sense. I don't know. Like, it just... I think Kiku got what Kiku deserved at this point, in all honesty. Her mistake, not once but twice. So, because the same trick was already pulled. So, anyways, at this point, we see that Kiku seems to be dying. We can assume that Kiku dies here, and then Kinemon cuts down Kanjuro. Kanjuro, we knew, was already dying anyways multiple times. He has stated, I've been given a fatal wound, I won't last long. But here, we're seeing Kinemon finish the job. Unfortunately, there's no time to help Kiku, because this is where Kaido does show up. They're not tricked by Yamato carrying around. This is very unfortunate that Yamato did leave, because now it's just Kaido facing down Kinemon by himself, Shinobu and Momonosuke. Kinemon, of course, is injured and barely on his feet. Kaido, you could argue, is injured, but it's goddamn Kaido. There's no chance here. And Shinobu runs with Momonosuke. Kinemon attempts to block the attack of Kaido, and all we see is it rain down upon him, and both Kinemon's swords crossed have now shattered and broken. And we get that Wano has finally reached, or Onigashima has finally reached Wano, and we get the scream of Kinemon. So potentially, I don't know, this would be a way, as I said, I think Wano is going to take no prisoners at this point. I think this is where we're going to see some actual character deaths. I would argue that Ashura Doji is actually dead. Kiku just died. Kanjuro is officially dead now. And I think that this is probably the end of Kinemon. If this is not Kinemon's true death, Kinemon survives long enough to die at the end of the arc. So I just think we just saw at least 2 character deaths, and now potentially 3 right here. So I think we're getting to the crux and the climax of Act 3, because we're starting to see some deaths. Some characters are dropping off. And no prisoners are being taken at this point. So there's no break next week, thankfully. This was a really good chapter. I was excited with the information at the beginning, and I'm also really intrigued by what's going to happen, especially with no break next week. I'm really intrigued on how Luffy's going to come back. Is Kinemon truly dead? What's the next step for Kaido? Where's Kaido going to fight now? Who's he going to massacre next? And is Law actually going to be intelligent and go actually heal Zoro now that Luffy's down, the only one on this damn island? Maybe you could argue Marco, the only other one on this damn island that has a shot at stopping Kaido or distracting him for any length of time now is Zoro. So get your shit together, Surgeon of Death, and go stop the death of Zoro. fix him up properly. Don't leave him to Sanji anymore. And then maybe Zoro, if he's got enough strength back, he might be able to do something. Distract Kaido long enough. Because he's the only one who did, other than Luffy. So, get on that. This isn't coming from Zoro fanboy. This is coming from the facts that literally the only one who did real damage to Kaido is Luffy and Zoro. Not Killer, not Law, and not Kid. The one who truly damaged Kaido were those two. And Luffy is in the ocean. Heal Zoro. It's your only shot here. Unless you want to take on King so that Marco can have a shot. Because Marco might be able to distract Kaido for a little bit. I can see that. But I don't see any of the other Straw Hats pulling this off. You know, I really don't. And Jinbei's distracted. You might be able to say Jinbei could have, you know, but I just don't see anybody else in this arsenal anymore that has this potential. But who was yelling to Momonosuke? I have no idea. Who's the mysterious person that healed up? A lot of people said it was Toki, but basically the anime confirmed that she died. So, was it Hiyori or was it somebody else? Who is this person? Yamato's going to get involved. There's a lot going on here. There's so much going on. I'm so glad there's not a break between chapter 1014 and 1015. So I can't wait for next Friday, what 1015 is going to be all about. I know you guys are excited too. Like, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's always very much appreciated. Don't forget to drink responsibly, as always. And we will see you guys back here next time for the next piece of One Piece. Thanks, guys, for watching. Peace out.